In this video, I'm going to talk about pulling out some information from my parcel data set based on an attribute query, and we're also going to clip the features to match the new data set that I'm creating. Specifically, my example is going to be, we're going to pull all of the parcels that belong to the city out of my parcel data set. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to move my parcels all the way to the top. And then I'm going to take my zoning layer, I'm going to move that all the way to the top too. These are the two data sets that I'm going to be working with. We'll turn these on. You can see that my Coddington parcels are grayed out, but if you want to, we can zoom in a little bit. You can see that they turn on. These are the two layers that I'm going to be working with. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my attribute table for Coddington parcels, just to do that. Now, when I open up my attribute table, the default goes to my monitor, my secondary monitor. That's where I keep my stuff. So I'll pull this back into the view screen here. In fact, maybe we'll even dock it. So here are my attributes. You can see I got 18,000 parcels in this data set. What I want to do is pull out all the stuff that's owned by the city of Watertown. So the way you can do that, you can see that we have a select by attributes in the open attribute table. This will work. You can click here, or you can go up to the map tab, and under the map tab we have select by attributes up here as well. Both of these function similarly. So I'll open up select by attributes. And then what I'll do is we will specify our input target to be Coddington parcels, new selection, and then we'll do an add clause, and we will go owner 1, and you could use is equal to, or all these different variables are in here, but what I like to do in this situation is contains the text, and then up here we can just type in what that text is. So we can go City of Watertown. Hit apply, and you can see in my attributes over here and down here in my attribute table I have 336 attributes selected, and here they all are. So the city owns all of these properties, and you can see a few of them highlighted. Oops, let me pull that out of the way. In my map window, these are owned by the city. If we want to make a separate layer out of that, the easiest way to do it is to right click on Coddington parcels. We'll move down to data, export features. This is going to give our export features window right here. What I want to do is I want to export this out to a shapefile, because I don't want it to be in a file geodatabase. I want this to be fairly quick, fairly easy. And I don't want to create a file geodatabase and move it around. I want to just grab this shapefile and send it to someone else via email. Shapefile works pretty easy to do that. So for our output feature class, we'll click the browse button, and I'm going to navigate in my folders. I know I've got work up here. If you don't have any stuff in your folders, you can always scroll down to this PC and navigate to the place where you want to store your shapefile. I'm just going to go to work here. I put it in work because this is a fairly clean folder, and I can find stuff quickly if I put it here. And I'm going to name this city. I'm going to citylands 2023.shp. If you want to do a shapefile, you have to put the .shp extension right here in the name. Otherwise, it's going to try to put it into a file geodatabase, and you may get some wonky results. If you're doing a shapefile and you're going to put it in this unique folder, make sure you got your .shp extension. We'll hit save, hit OK, and once it runs, my citylands is going to show up right in my ArcGIS folder. Yay for us. What I can do is I can clear my selected features, and I can shut off Coddington parcels. We'll shut off zoning, and what you'll see is a lot of those parcels go away. The only thing we have left are just stuff that's owned by the city. So this is step 1 of our process. The next thing that we want to do is we want to turn on our zoning layer, and here it is. But what we want to do is make a map that's only showing the city lands and only showing the zoning designations in those city lands. We don't want the entire zoning layer. So how do we get that? Well, the best way to do that is to use a geoprocessing function called clip. And the way you access that is by going to the Analysis tab. And right here is Tools. You can see the tooltip that shows up when I hover over Tools is Geoprocessing. So it shows the geoprocessing pane. And that's where we want to go. When I double click that, we get our geoprocessing pane. It looks like this. And these are all the different tools that are in there. If you can't find it in this list, you just do a Find Tools and you do a search for clip. And there it is. Another nice thing that you can do is you can right click on this and you can say Add to my favorites. And if you do that, it'll show up in your favorites right here. All these are my favorite geoprocessing tools that I use. These are the ones that I use most often. And clip is one of these, so it shows up in my favorites. But if you can't find it, just search for it and it shows up. So we'll click on our clip geoprocessing feature. And what we do is we're going to clip our input features, which is zoning. And our clip features is going to be our newly created City Lands 2023. And our output feature or data set, I'm going to open up my browse feature and I'm going to put this right back in the same folder that my City Lands is in, which is my work folder. And we'll go down here and we'll call this City Lands Zoning 223.shp. Okay. Save. And we run it. And here it is. So I'm going to move my geoprocessor out of the way so we can look at this. I'm also going to close up my Coddington Parcels attribute layer, and then we'll scroll down here and we'll shut off our zoning. And what you see is we only have the zoning showing for our city-owned properties. And that is how you create one layer by clipping out the features of another. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to like and subscribe.